On December 1st, India formally took over the presidency of the G20 grouping of countries from Indonesia. India's charge of the rotating G20 presidency comes at an opportune time for the country. India took over the G20 presidency in the year it completed 75 years of independence and overtook the United Kingdom to become the world's fifth largest economy. India's presidency comes in the wake of a deeply divided world post the COVID-19 pandemic. Healthcare, especially after the global health crisis, is one of India's key priorities during its G20 presidency. India will work on a unique framework that is needed to effectively manage health emergencies. And the same can be adopted by the G20 for its needs. India's affordable health infrastructure will help it to develop and implement healthcare innovations, guidelines and frameworks for the G20 nations. India therefore has a full year to showcase its might in different sectors. With healthcare, the environment, sustainability, and digital innovations high on the list. Last year, India drew praise from international sources, including Microsoft co-founder and philanthropist Bill Gates, for its mammoth COVID-19 vaccination drive. The number of vaccinations and booster shots in the country had surpassed 2 billion, despite challenges arising from fake news and propaganda that falsely questioned the benefits of vaccination among the general public. The country tops global markets not only in vaccine manufacturing and distribution but also in the variety of homegrown and internationally produced vaccines on offer to the Indian people. India's health experts have time and again predicted that the country will be the pharmacy of the world by 2030, and India's G20 presidency puts the pharma industry in the top tier of the nation's healthcare priorities. This implies that India's robust pharmaceutical sector, which already caters to a large chunk of the world's needs, will further develop its cooperation with different stakeholders in the global pharma industry to ensure medicines are not only safe and effective but also affordable. In a recent statement, the Indian government said that India's G20 presidency will be unique and unparalleled, in the sense that it will call for a fundamental shift in mindset. The government stressed that the greatest challenges such as climate change, terrorism and pandemics can be solved not by fighting each other but by acting together. The idea of G20 in 2020 was to develop an effective framework for digital health interventions. During its G20 presidency, India will focus on spearheading the shift from a data-driven approach to a data-first approach, thus helping countries to better plan and prepare for health emergencies such as COVID-19. As the Prime Minister said, data for development will be India's focus during its first ever G20 presidency. With the growing availability of affordable and fast internet connectivity, artificial intelligence-assisted robotic devices and high levels of digital activity among a majority of young people, India is pushing ahead in the era of digital healthcare. Technology has served as a great enabler for healthcare, especially during the pandemic, when online or remote consultations for many people became the primary mode of communication with a doctor. The practice has catalyzed and is being used by the government to provide last-mile connectivity to healthcare infrastructure. Since India is building upon this framework while continuing to focus on the digital economy, innovation and digital transformations, it will provide an exemplary healthcare success story for the world to follow. And also, this will be bolstered by research and findings based on data collected from more than 1 billion people. There is no doubt that this will serve as a model for other G20 member nations and the wider world. With nearly 200 meetings scheduled in more than 50 cities across 32 work streams in the run-up to the 2023 G20 summit, which will be hosted by New Delhi toward the end of the year, India plans to leave no stone unturned in its quest to live up to the motto of its presidency Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, which translates as one earth, one family, one future, and show that it is ready to lead. The G20 presidency is an opportunity for India to show this to the world.